Огонь по готовности!
Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the Watchpoint Post Show live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. I'm your host Malik Forte, joined at the desk today by Zoe, Josh, and Hexagrams filling in for Brand. Guys, I feel like we've been redeemed. We got some good Overwatch today, some good stuff.
Yeah, this week is off to a better start than everything last week.
Yes, totally. What do you guys think? Good,
Yeah,
good?
all the games are more meaningful. We're seeing more DPS.
Yeah.
That was a sick match just then as well.
Dude, the green teams are back. Like this is like it's 2018 green team Overwatch.
All the green teams. Well, let's talk a
Maybe
little
some
bit.
Bren flair right there. It's like, oh, colors.
I'm
Argue-
filling in, you know.
Let's talk a little bit about what we just saw, because coming into today, the Shanghai Dragons were undefeated, and the Valiant have actually been playing a lot better as of late. We saw Envy make his Dragons debut in Map 1, and Shax got the call on Sombra the entire match, the latter of which was just what the doctor ordered, a huge upset for the Valiant today.
I still don't even know how that first shot hit. I really don't. I can't even see the hero he's shooting at. He gets it.
It's crazy. The level of DPS performance we saw in this match is pretty phenomenal, especially when these teams were kind of built with triple tank, triple support in mind. You don't really want to build for incredible DPS players that can't play a bunch of those. And Kariv's sleep darts were just unreal. Such a well-deserved player of the match here. He was destroying. That sleep dart on the EMP was sick.
Yeah, they asked us who we wanted for player of the match, and I'm like, well, we can give it to him based on that one. Just based on that one dart on Eichenwald.
Yeah.
I love that he has a chance to kind of redeem himself. I mean, he had to go through a lot in his so far Overwatch League career. He went from being support to forced onto DPS to back on support and didn't quite find his footing. But now he just pops up. Like, this is great to see.
The bigger picture here, oh my goodness, it's so good.
From experiencing tranquility to tranquilizing Sarah out the sky. That was amazing.
All right, I'll get to my point eventually after I stop just enjoying all of these sleep darts from Kareem. I think the bigger picture with both of these green teams, as you're saying, the Houston Outlaws and the Valiant,
The medical term.
is that Overwatch is such a mental game. With these teams, they need to be in a good frame of mind to be able to perform. They have to feel good, they have to understand the meta, the team has to click, and both of those teams now, having made a bunch of changes, been through the fire and the flames, have come out the other side with a much better mental attitude. And now they can actually perform.
I think a lot of it is kind of like a nothing to lose. After the half of the season, right? You're like, half the season's over, we're playing terribly, let's play like heroes that we're good at and we have fun at and see if it works, because what we're doing now is not working anyway. So why be miserable and still not win games?
Were you guys impressed with Shax today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the numbers speak for themselves here as well. I do think it was very, very impressive that he, as I said during halftime, he was able to really kind of almost go toe-to-toe with someone of the caliber of Ding. So that is a fantastic first performance. Definitely leaves us wondering what's going to happen in the future with this young man.
He's got the tools in his kit, too, of like all the things you look for a Sombra. Not just like fast charging and getting good EMPs, but getting kills in the backline, solo kills, and being that constant harassment. He played great.
Used to to be an excellent Tracer player, and I guess the question for Valiant now is what do you do with Space out of the lineup and having so much success? But I think this is a comp that worked incredibly well against Shanghai because they like to play a lot of DPS. I don't know whether this is necessarily the roster that you want to field if you're playing against a team that's really strong in the triple tank, triple support. We'll see what Valiant choose when they go up against a team like the Titans or the Spitfire in the future.
But I imagine the plus is they are more versatile now with Shaxx going out there and performing the way he did today. But we're going to take it back, guys, to our first matchup of the day, which was between two teams that are on opposite sides of the standings. Now, the Shock, they were looking to continue their old winning ways against a struggling Uprising squad. This match was, to put it lightly, fast-paced. It was like the Shock were playing on 1.5 times speed today when they claimed victory. It was a quick one.
Moth was playing on 1.5 times speed as he hit that rollout. Still 20 seconds before the control point unlocks, and he booms fusions into the lake. That's some Reddit Lucio rollouts.
I was really hoping for Moth to break the 50 wall right now. He's, I believe, after this game today, he's at 48 environmental kills so far. He's leading the charge in the league right now.
Not bad.
I think Slime is on second place, 5 or 6 less boots. Yeah, I hoped he would break it today. Very disappointed that he did. Very disappointed. I hope
Crash performance from
what a feeder.
Yeah, he's a great player, and I love the way that he leads this team. He's had actually some rough games recently. When they played against the Outlaws, that's one of the worst matches that I've seen from him. Just constantly getting caught out by Dante. Maybe because he has a read, because they used to be teammates. Maybe just bad luck, maybe just bad day. Who knows? But Moth was back in this match, and the whole of the Shock was. It's a bit of a resurgence, a bounce back from the shocking start they had to stage 3.
Were you guys able to pinpoint any issues that the Boston Uprising were having in this game? Because, of course, they were playing the San Francisco Shock. Sometimes it's kind of hard to, pinpoint those things when the Shock are imposing their will. But what did you guys see?
I'm going to be honest. I think it looked a bit better than they've previously been playing.
Okay.
I think the stylistic choices they made with Color Hex on the Pharah and then playing a lot of RCK on Sombra, Persia on the Ana. I think these are good changes moving forward. They just need a bit more time to practice. And clearly what they were running last time was horrible.
I was talking to RCK earlier, and this team's gone through a lot of changes trying to figure out communication structure and who's going to call, and that's why they're moving people around from different spots and different heroes. And I think if you're going to make changes to try to make your team better as a whole, do it in Stage 3. This team will sneak into the season playoffs.
Will they?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
You can't bet against Boston.
Well, yeah, I know you don't like to bet against Boston, but it's looking a bit rough for them in the season playoffs overall.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I don't know. It's very difficult for me to always count Boston out because it seems like every year they go through like a little bit of a downturn, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is the worst roster they're fielding, and they go 10-0 in Stage 3. So they've just got like a little bit of that, craft magic, I guess.
Indeed. I will say this is a completely different Stage 3 for them, though.
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
Opposite trending from what we saw last year. Well, guys, lots of good games so far, but coming up, we're going to talk about whether or not Houston was able to keep up their winning ways. That's up next on the Watchpoint Post Show. Stay tuned.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Sombra. Focus.
Nice, guys.
Okay, that's
Another win.
way to close it out.
Good job. Like we on Hollywood, but that's actually important for us.
I'm proud of you
Important
guys.
for us
I'm
to
proud of
trip.
you. We're mortal.
It's important for us to trip and see that we're mortal, but also not to fall all the way, right? That's always our problem. Great work, guys. I'm really proud.
All right. Good job,
Kill it out there, buddy.
Two teams that have been looking a lot better as of late are Paris and Houston. Now, the Outlaws have been running interesting damage comps, which has not only been fun to watch, but effective. So could Paris slow down this surging Houston squad? That was a task that proved to be a little too Texas hard to pull off today. I had to.
A red pick.
No, you really didn't.
No.
I did, though. But I did.
The Outlaws are still playing
More
pretty
dad
well.
jokes, man. Catching up for Father's Day.
Outlaws are still looking pretty good with these DPS comps, honestly.
It's just funny to hear them say, like, oh, remember we're mortal. It's like, oh, guys, we remember that you're immortal. We have a lot of tape that proves you are extremely mortal.
I'm worried at every match, I'm worried that Houston are just going to go back to their previous ways where they were shockingly uncoordinated, didn't know what they were doing in the meta, got figured out instantly, couldn't synchronize attacks together, but they're keeping it going so far.
I'm actually really surprised, though, at how well some of this is working. For example, Jake's Farah, like, how much he actually gets out of his barrages is kind of insane to me. You would think if the team already go through the trouble of actually making the necessary compositional changes to technically shut him down, and they still don't manage to even remotely shut him down, even though he's coming from, honestly, fairly obvious angles at times. It's quite amazing to me, not to take anything away from him.
Yeah, I really feel that Paris kind of lost this whole series on the map, Paris. It just seemed like they got mental boomed afterwards. There were a couple of close things, like did we touch the point where we closed, what happened? And then you could just hear them. You could hear them sighing and being deflated, and the mental game just got wrecked early.
So, on the Paris side of things, do you feel like this was a strong match overall for them, despite the mental boom?
I wouldn't particularly say so. I think that they would have been expected to win Paris, and they failed to do that. And overall, looking at the map pool on Hollywood and Dorado, those are two very winnable maps for Paris as well. And the fact that they weren't able to drag it to a fifth here, I think, is a little bit unfortunate. And not so much unfortunate, just indicative of where Paris is at the moment and where they've been at all season long. They haven't been a team that's been at the top or been, honestly, in the mid-table for the majority of our league. They've kind of been hanging around the bottom, just trying to put their pieces together and steal some wins off mid-table teams. It's unlucky for them that they faced Houston twice, once Houston have actually got good. They'll be looking back like, why didn't we get these guys in stage one when they sucked? What happened to this? They've been
Back when they were mortal.
yes,
Back when they were mortal.
They were mortal.
All right, well, Houston stays hot, and it started with Oasis. So, Josh, what did you see from the Outlaws in Oasis in that map?
Well, I just want to break down a play which I think is going to be indicative of what we're going to see a lot from the Sombras and kind of the Sombra metagame moving forwards. And it's about Dante and how he gets his hacks. So I'll run you through it here, and I'll take you through some of the major key moments that were in place. Because the important thing to keep an eye on is the fact that both teams have their sound barriers available. And this is really interesting when it's paired alongside an EMP, because Cruz really can't use this ultimate. This ult, if he uses it, it's just going to get ripped away by Dante. But if Dante is able to get a hack, which is what he's going to go for, he's going to try and get a hack on Cruz, then that allows Boink and the rest of the team to push with impunity. They can just push with this sound barrier and use the sound barrier as is. So it doesn't even really make that much difference that Gray is dead, because they've chosen to make the sound. And as soon as they get the hack on Cruz, Boink uses his speed boost, uses the sound barrier, pushes forward, and boops him into position. Now, unfortunately here, there was this crazy Diva Bomb, which I just want to take a look and just point out the fact that Jake here is not using his shield, and so therefore dies, and ends up with the fight being turned around. But the wider point is that Dante's hacks are being followed up on incredibly quickly. So they get the hack on Cruz, and instantly the team knows what to do. The speed boost, the sound barrier all comes out straight away. They focus down Benvest, they get those kills. This is one of the reasons why Houston is so good right now. It's because they know what to do every time they get a hack. They don't have to wait for the EMPs. Just a little unfortunate that Jake was not holding up his shield. But overall, Houston tend to be very good at
It's the coordinated Houston squad that we saw last year. It looks like they're back, firing on all cylinders like we saw them before, which is good.
Yeah, and that's why I say that Overwatch is such a mental game, because I think Houston, something just clicked in their brains of like, oh, we understand how to run this composition. Dante gets a hack, we go through the computational, the flow chart, and we go, oh yeah, well, Lucio hacked equals no speed boost, no sound barrier, so we use ours and we win. It's that kind of flow chart thinking that Outlaws are very good at.
Postulating the possibilities. Yeah, I love it.
It's Jake's big abacus brain calculating everything.
Amazing. Well, another team that's been red hot has been the Hangzhou Spark, and today they had to go against a team that's been struggling, another one, the Dallas Fuel. Earlier today in the pre-show, we saw OGE pour his heart out in a short feature, so imagine our surprise when we saw Trill getting the start instead today. His debut would have to be against the Hangzhou Spark, and Guxue, though, who've been red hot as of late, as I said in Stage 3, and that was a recipe for a rough start for Trill, indeed.
I think OG said that he just needed a little bit of rest, I believe, on Twitter or something, which is fine. There's a mental aspect of this game, but I don't know how much this tells me about Dallas. I didn't have Dallas rated very highly coming into this stage, but I think the Spark are solidified as the 4th best team in Overwatch League. I think they've just been playing out of their mind really good. They're beating up on lower teams, it's fine, but I can't say enough about Adora's play. I think his Brigitte is really good. He just knows. He's always got a bash when he needs it.
That's coming from probably the biggest Brigitte hater in this entire.
Hey, I hate a lot of different heroes.
That's actually true.
Hate Splash Bang, hate Swift Strike.
You're pretty close to the top when it comes to Brigitte.
I just, I don't know.
feel
You
strongly
see at the
towards
end
her.
of that last match, Brigitte got nano boosted and went 1v6 and lived through it. I think that's a problem.
I will say it was cool seeing Adora. He was basically stunning Trill out of Earth Shatter multiple times throughout the course of this match.
He's always got it.
See it. So
Yeah, he's got some insane reaction time with his brick. In this stance, they really land at the most crucial of times where they actually make a big impact, not just to get a pick, but actually to prevent his entire team from being picked off. So there's a lot of great coordination coming out from the Spark. However, I do feel like they took the foot off the gas pedal for a little bit during this series, which was a little bit disappointing. It could have been more one-sided, honestly.
Give him a break. How
No,
much,
I'm
how
not.
much devastation do you want?
I want
nearly made it a
full
4-0.
devastation.
she wanted the clean 4-0.
Have some mercy for your boy Trill. It's his first time up on the stage.
Not trial by fire. I
Get his
believe
head
in
kicked
it.
in.
Welcome to the Overwatch League,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
For the Hangzhou Spark, though, the thing that I always forget about is that Guxue is from China and the rest of the team is from Korea. And so the fact that they are so coordinated and are able to sync up these boom shatters, these bash shatters, make Guxue this fantastic dominant player that he is, despite the fact that there was such an inordinate language barrier to begin with. I mean, that's an extreme language barrier, and they look perfectly coordinated. So this whole season has just been amazing for showing that these mixed rosters can really work.
Imagine if Genji becomes meta. We get to unleash the true Godsby form.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say watching Guxue on Genji.
Sure, why not? Hey, maybe he can. Who knows, right? But I think Godsby's also improved his off-tank play a lot, too, over the course of this season.
Indeed. Now, it was a tough debut for Trill going against a red-hot Spark team. But Zoe, what did you see from the young tank? And should they keep him starting right now? Because we saw that work for other players like Guxue, him getting starts. It eventually helped them.
I mean, to kick things off during that series, what did I see from Trill? Lots of feeding, to be perfectly honest with you. He was off to a really rough start. But I think a lot of that could be pinned down to nerves, to lack of coordination and playtime with the team. And I mean, we don't know if he was fielded on like a short notice kind of thing. Like, all of that really kind of comes into this. So we have to consider these things. And honestly, like coming into map 2, Horizon, I do feel like he started to find his footing. It looked more coordinated. He was more patient with his attacks. He was more patient with his fire strikes. He wasn't as far forward as at the very beginning of this series, where they were able to really pick him off and abuse the fact that he was having his shield way far off from the rest of his team. So they managed to, do a lot of damage due to that. But once the series progressed, I do feel that Trill actually improved. And that gives me hope that if they plan on fielding him some more in the very near future, that he should be like on an upward trajectory.
Yeah. I mean, he's on the team. The mechanical skill has to be there.
Obviously, yeah.
It has to be there. But he did look very nervous. Very nervous, just out of place, caught out of place many times. Well, guys, these guys are all playing so they can make it to Philly for the finals. And don't forget, the Overwatch League Grand Finals are going to be taking place in Philly. So head on over to overwatchleague.com and pick up your tickets before they're gone. So coming up right after the break, we got the best moments from today. So don't go anywhere. More Watchpoint is coming right up.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
You've been waiting for the best. Buckle up, baby. It's time for our over-the-top moments of the day. Starting off with Linkser on Tracer. He was that Tracer Houston needed all along. They had him.
No
I
reason to
thought
look
Dante is
outside
now
for
that
what you
Tracer.
have.
Yeah. Linkser, uncontested, doesn't have to battle another Tracer. That's why he looks as good as he does. If you ported this Linkser back last year, he would still get slapped around by Striker or Sabiorbi. Don't delude yourself, Houston fans.
All right, moving along. Agility's pulled out the Torbjorn and got a hammer kill.
It's
You love to
beautiful.
see it. You love to see it.
Cool.
How many hammer kills
You're
do we have
such a
overall?
hater, Hex. You're such a hater.
It's ridiculous that people care so much, but it's just a
Because
hammer
it's
kill.
funny.
I blame Mangachu.
Small victories, man. All right, Back Fiction with the 4K on Nepal. This is a great play. Back Fiction has been a huge...
Dude, look at his HP during this time. I was watching it during the cast. He's at like 200 HP when he goes for the charge. That's a situation where it's just guts.
I don't want to call out production, but that's a 5K. Takes down DM. Then let's take a look. Takes down Luppy,
Three,
Young Jin,
four.
NB. And then there was another one at the end, but production cut it off.
Yeah,
Does
they got
the
you. They
mecha
got
count
you.
as 1, 2?
All right, up next we got Kareem playing Duck Hunt.
Such a hater.
And much more, and just sleeping Ding a lot throughout the entirety of this match. Mostly on Sombra, also on Pharah. He was just on fire today.
Absolutely. No, he hit some really not sleep darts there.
Last but not least is your boy Moth Zoe with the 3K as Battle Mercy.
You love to see it. As someone who is forced to play Mercy every once in a while, like those are the moments I live for.
This always gets me off a Widow when it happens to me. I'm like, all right, that's
it.
enough. That's enough.
Don't do this in your ranked games, everyone. Please, as Mercy, heal people or use your
No,
damage boost.
no, I think you should only use your Valk to do
No.
just that.
Use the staff, not the blaster.
Now,
It's
Please.
a damage ult. We all knew it.
all right, guys, let's check out our Twitch cheer leaderboard. Hex,
Oh, it's
you want to take it?
exciting.
You want to take it? I'll take it. I haven't done it in a while. It's been a minute. All right, the Atlanta Reign are sitting at #1 at the top of the leaderboard, followed by the Hangzhou Spark, the NYXL, the Dallas Field, and the Houston Outlaws. Rounding out the top 5, the 2 Texas teams. We got the Seoul Dynasty at the bottom there. And also the Philadelphia Fusion, they're still sitting in the top 10 as well. So, sorry, Zoe, no hating on that. Moving on to our individual leaderboard. We got, man, I don't see Lackish anywhere, but Hastro still sitting at number 7. The Blue Jacket, the guy from our EVS team in the back, sitting at number 6. And at the top, you got Shelby. Or
how are we calling number 4? Is it ICC or ICSI?
ICSI.
Shout out as well to
Rock Norris.
Shout out to Norris from the Republic of China. Beautiful Chinese name, Norris.
Typical, yeah.
I thought it was Rockefeller. Okay, cool. You just taught me something there, Sideshow. All right, guys. Speaking of Twitch, be sure to go get your Overwatch League All Access Pass on Twitch, because coming up right after Watchpoint, you won't want to miss a live Q&A with Fact Fiction from the LA Valiant, exclusively with that All Access Pass on Twitch. He's coming off a W, so he'll definitely want to talk. But guys, we're not done yet. Coming up after the break, we'll take a quick look at what you should be watching out for tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Watchpoint will be right back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
With a 3K, takes out Closer, turns around with the blaster. Goodbye, Zachary, to the melee. And why not another DPS to add to his collection with AK?
See the Valiant just trying to retreat indoors to stay away from all this pressure that Hotba is applying.
Hoppa has the barrage, and he goes for it!
And triple kill instantly, make it 5 really, as space is taken out of that mech board. Boy, very close. Now he has that Graviton Surge. They're getting a grab first, so Spark getting aggressive here. Can they get the kills out of it? No. Grab gets used by Corey as well. Sans himself to the front. He gets 3. Amazing move comes in from Justice Arc, setting it up for the 3K off that self-destruct. No supports here for Toronto Defiant. Charge coming up from beyond. Will be able to take down Mendoza. Turns around, he gets a shatter.
Welcome back.
Oh man, welcome back indeed. Might have just single-handedly turned that one around, and he has! It's a dead eye. All right, everybody just backs around the corner. That's going to pave the way. Oh, they can't! Oh, the flashbang! Oh, no, the huge flashbang! That flashbang hit like 3 people. All right, this round is weird. But the Hunters are going to be able to take the point back, and they are 99% already OG.
Taking a look at the schedule right out of the gate tomorrow, we've got an Atlantic Division clash between London and New York. The Shock then face off against the Mayhem, and the LA Gladiators and the Shanghai Dragons battle it out, and it all culminates with the Chengdu Hunters up against the Vancouver Titans. So with all that going on, I'm curious to know, Zoe, what are you watching for tomorrow?
I think for me, it's got to be that last game of the day. I want to see the Vancouver Titans facing off against the Chengdu Hunters. I want to see Amon going up against no other than Bumper, because last time they faced off against each other, frankly, Amon somehow managed to outrun Bumper, which was absolute pure insanity. So I want to see where he can take this next.
Straight up rocked them. I remember that. That was a good match. All right, what about you, Josh?
Well, I'm taking a look at the New York-London game. Specifically, I want to know if London can put up any kind of resistance, because last time it was a 4-0 dropping, and London looked very hesitative.
Wet blanket?
Yes,
Nailed
like
it.
A wet blanket. Thank you. Nailed it. They just looked like they hadn't got any game plan really going for how to deal with New York on the Sombra. So I'm looking for improvement there.
Well, I had to pick my point third, and it was during the third match, so very appropriate here. I'm looking forward to who's the best of the rest. This was before Shanghai just lost to Valiant, but Shanghai versus the Los Angeles Gladiators, teams that we have had in the mix between like 5 and 8. There's these great teams, and there's a second tier. Which team is the real good one here? And I have a feeling that Los Angeles Gladiators are actually going to make a big step forward, given how poorly Shanghai, well, I don't know if they played poorly, but how the star of Shanghai is fading a little bit after some of the losses.
Do you think they're going to get out DPS'd tomorrow?
I think Short 4 is going to do some weird stuff, as always.
Yeah. I love it. That's what I want to see. But
He might not even play, but he's going to do weird stuff.
I mean,
Check his Twitter feed in a while. That's
exactly.
true.
I feel like after today, they should play short forward because the DPS was just too much for Shanghai to handle today. But I'm kind of with you, Sideshow. I'm looking forward to that run back between New York and London. But guys, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific, same time on Watchpoint, the pre-show. But until then, guys, we're getting out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. That was our first match of the day. You saw it there. San Francisco getting work done versus Boston.
Yep.
But Hex, we got a match coming up next, and this is going to be a banger.
Yeah, if you would have said a month ago that I'm really looking forward to Houston and Paris, I'd have your temperature checked because you've come down with something. But this actually